The grand mansion glittered that night, chandeliers glowing, marble floors gleaming, but in the quiet servants' quarters behind the kitchen, a single candle flickered weakly on a small cupcake. A young woman sat alone, whispering, "Happy birthday" to me, as she smiled through tears. From the shadows of the hallway, unseen, the mansion's billionaire owner, Ethan Cole, watched her. Something about that tiny, flickering candle hit him harder than any corporate deal ever could. After a long, silent moment, he stepped forward and softly asked, "Can I sit with you?" The maid gasped, her eyes widening in disbelief. That one question, so simple, so human, would change both their lives forever. Isabella Reyes never imagined her life would turn out this way. Once a bright college student with dreams of becoming a teacher, she dropped out when her mother fell ill. Bills piled up. Life became about survival, not dreams. So she took a job as a maid in the Cole mansion, a place of cold marble, silent halls, and luxury that never felt alive. The staff rarely spoke to their employer. The billionaire Ethan Cole was a man of mystery, ruthlessly successful, emotionally distant, and feared by almost everyone who worked under his roof. But Isabella didn't fear him. She pitied him. She'd seen him once, staring out his office window at the city lights long after midnight, shoulders slumped, drink in hand. He looked like a man who had everything but nothing left to live for. That night, when the rest of the staff left, Isabella stayed behind. She wasn't waiting for anyone, she just couldn't face returning to her small rented room with peeling walls and a flickering bulb. It was her birthday. Her 25th. And no one even remembered. She placed a leftover cupcake from the kitchen on a napkin, lit a candle with trembling fingers, and whispered, "Happy birthday, Bella," her voice cracked mid-sentence. A tear rolled down her cheek, glistening in the dim light. She quickly wiped it away, forcing a smile, whispering, "It's okay, you've made it another year." But what she didn't know was that someone was watching. Ethan had returned home early that night. He was walking past the servants' quarters when he noticed the dim light and soft voice. Curious, he peered inside. He saw her sitting there, head bowed, eyes full of pain, but still managing to smile at a cupcake like it was a treasure. It stirred something in him he hadn't felt in years. Empathy. Warmth. Humanity. He stepped forward. His voice, usually deep and commanding, softened. "Can I sit with you?" Isabella froze, her heart pounding. She looked up, there he was, Ethan Cole, the man whose name made boardrooms tremble, standing at her door holding 2 cups of coffee. Sir, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to," she stammered. He shook his head gently. "Don't apologize. I saw you sitting here alone. And I thought, maybe you shouldn't be." He sat across from her, uninvited yet welcome. The silence between them was awkward but peaceful. "What's the occasion?" he asked, glancing at the flickering candle. Isabella forced a laugh. "My birthday. Not much of a celebration, I guess." Ethan's eyes softened. "Happy birthday, Isabella." She blinked in surprise. "You know my name." He gave a faint smile. "I know everyone who works for me. I just don't always get the chance to show it." That night, they talked for hours. About life, dreams, disappointments. Ethan spoke of losing his wife years ago, how work became his escape from grief. Isabella shared how she lost her mother, and how every birthday felt emptier since. By the time the candle burned out, they were both laughing softly, 2 souls from different worlds finding warmth in shared loneliness. Before leaving, Ethan said quietly, "No one should celebrate their birthday alone. Not in my house." And with that, he walked away, but that small act of kindness would set off a chain of events neither of them could have imagined. The next morning, the entire staff was buzzing. Word spread that Mr. Cole had personally ordered a cake, decorations, and a private dinner in the garden for Isabella. Isabella was mortified. "Sir, you didn't have to." Ethan interrupted her with a calm smile. "I didn't have to. I wanted to." The dinner was simple but beautiful, string lights, soft music, and laughter. For the first time in years, Ethan smiled without forcing it. And Isabella, though nervous, saw the men behind the billionaire mask, a kind, broken soul learning how to feel again. Days turned into weeks. Their bond deepened. He'd find reasons to talk to her, sometimes about business, other times just to hear her thoughts. He admired her humility, her warmth. She admired his quiet strength. But not everyone approved. Rumors spread through the staff. She's just after his money. She's manipulating him. When Isabella overheard the gossip, she packed her bag to leave. She couldn't bear to be the reason for more chaos in his life. Ethan found her near the gate. "You're running away again," he said quietly. Tears filled her eyes. "I don't belong in your world, Mr. Cole. People are talking. I can't stay." He stepped closer, his gaze firm yet gentle. "Then let them talk. You belong wherever you're valued. And you are valued here, Isabella. By me." The sincerity in his voice broke her resolve. For the first time, she saw not a billionaire, but a man who had finally found peace in another's presence. Months later, on a rainy evening, Ethan stood in front of her again, this time not in the servants' quarters, but in his office. He held a small velvet box. "I used to think happiness came from wealth," he said softly. "But that night, when I saw you sitting there alone, I realized it comes from moments. From people who remind you you're human." He opened the box, a delicate necklace with a tiny candle charm inside. "To remind you that your light matters," he whispered. Isabella couldn't hold back her tears. "You remembered." He smiled. "How could I forget? That was the night I found something I didn't even know I was missing." She stepped forward, trembling. "What's that?" He reached out and took her hand. "You."